country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Bokinafaso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
Burkina Faso's military government said on Monday that it had foiled a major plot to overthrow the country.
Family, you see, I was wondering, when did United States of America, started think about African leaders who are corrupt? Because I'm not going far. I'm a Ghanaian, so I will use Ghana as an example. Just last 8 years, look at how His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was mismanaging our economy. Look at how they were doing illegal mining in our country. Look at how they were destroying our water bodies. We never heard United States of America discussing this. So when did these people come together to talk about African leaders being corrupt, and this so-called general, whoever he called himself, never pointed out any corrupt leader in Africa rather than Ibrahim Traore? The old tricks that they've been doing so that they can destabilize those great leaders, as they did to Thomas Sankara, Muhammad Gaddafi, Dr. Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and this is the same tricks that they've been doing. So he accused Ibrahim Traore of using Burkina Faso natural resource to just secure himself or protect himself. If what he is saying is true, in fact, there are so many videos that I'm going to show you over here. If whatever they are claiming is true, why is their people rejoicing? When you come to Ghana here, let me tell you the truth. No one is rejoicing concerning His Excellency John Dramani Mahama 4 months in terms, because he was once a president and he is now in power. So we expect him to do much better. But let's put that one aside. See, I'm going to bring you a lot of videos, but let me tell you this. If you are a Nigeria, Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, whichever Africa country you find yourself as a youth, you need to speak out. You guys should organize demonstration. Tell your puppet leaders that this time around we have Ibrahim Traore. So if you are not going to do whatever we want for us, just put your voice out there to the puppet. I mean, just put out your voice out there to these Westerners. Most importantly, USA and France. Tell them that they should leave Ibrahim Traore away. They should leave him. We like him. He is doing what the people like. As the general was saying, just watch this video.
Junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traore. Security Minister Mahamadou Sana said on state television that plotters included current and former soldiers and terrorist leaders. They had planned to swarm the presidential palace on April 16. This is just the latest attempt to overthrow Ibrahim Traore after he seized power in the 2022 coup. His military government had pledged to fight jihadist groups and had even sought support from Russia. But security threats persist and 40% of the country remains under jihadist control. Mahamadou Sanna said that the coup attempt aimed to sow total chaos and place the country under the supervision of an international organization. He also claimed that the plot instigators are based in Ivory Coast. Last week, Burkinabe authorities had already arrested several military personnel accused of planning to destabilize the government.
So, Ibrahim Traore, when they tried to attempt this coup and they were not successful, these people ran and go and hide at Côte d'Ivoire. And there are some people who was arrested, and this man, that US general, that he claims they've trained a lot of African people to become soldiers. I don't know why they are supposed to leave their country and come to our people and train us how to guide our country, how to govern our country. And this man went to Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, just to have meeting with them over there. And there are so many pictures out there. The only crime that Ibrahim Traore have done, let's just watch this video. And you see, like I was saying, this time around, we all should go to the streets and protest that. You see, this protest should be based on France embassy in your country, whether in Ghana, Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Kenya, wherever you find yourself. We should go to these embassies, US embassy and France embassy. We should tell them that they should stay away from Ibrahim Traore. We like him. Just enjoy this video.
The country's first ever gold refinery. He nationalized 2 gold mines in Bongo and Wagnion for $80 million, a significant reduction from the $300 million Endeavour Mining had agreed to sell them for. And clearly, this deal shows that Burkina Faso.
So, this is one of the crimes that Ibrahim Traore has committed. This is one of his crimes. That's why they are saying he is using Burkina Faso minerals to secure himself. And of course, it's not true.
Is getting a good deal. He approved the expansion of the Bobo Dioulasso Airport with an 80 billion CFA franc investment to modernize the country's second largest hub. He launched the country's first national support center for artisanal cotton processing. Don't forget, Burkina Faso is the largest producer of cotton in Africa. And let's not forget, he expelled French troops from Burkina Faso, officially ending the operation. He gave farmers and agricultural investors 400 tractors, 953 motorcycles, 710 motor pumps, and 10,000 tons of fish food, with 68,964 tons of fertilizer and 10,000 liters of products. He signed a treaty with Niger and Mali to establish the Alliance of Sahel States, the world's only confederation. He removed French as an official language, adopting local languages as official language. He supplied the Ministry of Health with 15 mobile clinics, 36 vehicles, 3 oxygen units, 11 cold rooms, 835 tablets, and 1,900 solar refrigerators, and so much more. Believe that he stands for something greater than themselves, and they're willing to sacrifice themselves to protect this man because they know he means well.
So, this is the crime that Ibrahim Traore has committed, and this time around is not going to be like Muammar Gaddafi time. And the question is, why is African leaders silent about this? Let's hear from this man from Gabon what he has to offer concerning the silence of African leaders.
They don't want to support Captain Traore, who is there, a son, a disciple of Thomas Sankara. The brave men and women of Niger, Mali, Bokinafaso deserve our respect. People talk so nicely about Thomas Sankara, but they are not saying the same about Captain Traore. They support Thomas Sankara because he's not there. They don't want to support Captain Traore, who is there. A son, a disciple of Thomas Sankara. Comrades, what is going on here is a revolutionary process that needs our support, that needs to be defended, that needs to be advanced with all the tenacity, with all the courage it takes. Some of us come from places, come from countries where they believe the periodic elections they hold are the only way for people's participation. But they forget, or we forget, that in a truly free world, democracy takes many forms of expression. It's not only one form of expression. You can vote with a pencil, and in some places, people have voted with their blood. The brave men and women of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso deserve our respect, deserve our support. I'm saying brave because what they are doing requires courage. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the cowards who grovel before imperialism. The challenges they face are huge. The risks they have taken are immense. And it requires determination, it requires resoluteness, it requires a greater love for one's people and humanity in general. We are here to witness the transformation of this region. We are here to render solidarity to a place, an area of our continent that it deserves it and needs it most. What is happening here is a big light being shown around the whole continent. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are showing us the way. They are lighting the way for all of us to take. How we get there may differ, but what they are doing here, you can't avoid it. Whether you are an elected government or you have come through the military way, you can't avoid the transformations going here. They are asserting themselves in a manner that has not been done before. Imperialism is in panic. Imperialism is in shock. They didn't expect this. They didn't expect this boldness. They didn't expect this resolutiveness. They didn't expect this clarity. Speaker after speaker this morning was very clear on what is being done here, what is being advanced here, what is being promoted here, what is being defended here. They were very clear. And this clarity need to be respected. This clarity needs to be embraced. This clarity needs to be explained further and further and further and further and further, and made more simpler and simpler and simpler to all our people on this continent and the diaspora. A lot can be said about what is going on here, and many have already said it. I don't want to bore you with repetitions. All that I can say is let's embrace what is going on here. Let's dedicate a lot of time to what is going on here. Let's provide what is going on here with a moral and political support. There are many answers, there are many questions that need answers. Let's work with our comrades here to provide the answers that are needed. A country dominated by another country can never be able to be democratic. You can't build democracy in a country that is dominated by another country, that is a neo-colony of another country. For you to start talking about democracy, you have to get rid of neo-colonialism. It's a condition. We heard at the opening session of this conference this morning, speaker after speaker, including the Prime Minister of Niger, they were talking about the struggle for their independence. They were talking about the struggle for sovereignty. Sovereignty for what? Independence for what? Independence from who? Independence from who? It's the independence from those who dominate us today. It's the independence from those who neo-colonize us today. It's independence from those who subjugate us today. Without that independence, you cannot talk of democracy. The elections we hold in all these neo-colonial states have not taken us anywhere. For more than 5-6 decades, we have been holding elections in some of these territories of Africa. Where have those elections taken us?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Why?
Nowhere.
Because we are colonies. We are neo-colonies. We are dominated by others. And you cannot have meaningful democracy without total independence, as it was said this morning. We need total independence. There are some who despise, who look down upon what is going on in the Sahel today, because it's being carried by men and women in uniform, called the military. But comrades, this is the liberation struggle. And no country in the world, truthfully speaking, including the United States itself, did not liberate itself, or which did not liberate itself by the use of the military, by the use of armed men and women. That's what happens when there's national liberation. People who command the use of force step in. And what is going on here cannot be said to be undemocratic when you compare it with the sham elections that are being held across the continent, with the political parties that compete with each other without any meaningful agenda, without any meaningful purpose, other than the use of millions and millions of dollars to deceive the people, to bribe the people. The changes going on here today cannot be carried out without the will of the people, without the support of the people. It's impossible.
That's why they are all over the street.
These are not mere military coups. These are revolutionary processes with a very, very high level of people's support and people's participation. In the opening session today, we had leaders of our people from all walks of life. We had the traditional leaders, we had the religious leaders, and others.
They are all under
People
colonialism.
participate in political processes through their authentic leaders. And when those leaders are there, you cannot deny that there's people's participation. We had Islamic leaders today. We had a Catholic bishop today. We had all sorts of traditional leaders today participating in our conference. This is truly a conference of the people in a country that is trying to transform itself, that is trying to liberate itself. It is impossible not to support what is going on today here. If you are truly a Democrat, if you are truly progressive, if you are truly a socialist.
So this is what our brother has for us. And this time around, like I said, we are not going to joke. So listen to what some of our brothers too are saying.
Two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which...
Because people need to understand something. What is happening to us here? It's true that they have manipulated part of our populations in the Sahel here, but they didn't have that kind of weaponry. What brought such significant weaponry into their ranks? It's Libya. Who destroyed Libya? It's this NGO, the same NGO that made false reports and gave them to those who wanted to create a rebellion so that people would intervene and overthrow Gaddafi. And the powder keg ended up being poured into the Sahel. These millions of lives that have been taken in the Sahel, we must file a complaint against this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports it made to support this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them go defend human rights all over the world first before coming here. We are fortunate to have similar situations in this world. You voluntarily committed yourselves. There are countries where people are forcibly taken, killed. You leave or you die. Others, even while trying to flee, end up dying. They don't talk about human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. That's how it is in their minds. They have never changed their mindset, but it's up to us to show them that we are not slaves and we will never accept this state of affairs.
You see, when you hear such speech from Ibrahim Traore, and as an African, if you are so dumb to understand what this guy is putting out there, then I don't think you are a human being. Then you are the type of people that these Westerners are referring to. They see you such a person as subhuman. They see you as a slave. So if you don't want to remain as a slave over there, then it's time to wake up. It's time to back up and speak out your voice that we are no more slave.
Traore, the Bokinafaso president, I have to say I was very, very disappointed. Very, very disappointed to hear that Burkina Faso citizens abroad were protesting against his government. How can you protest against someone who is effectively?
Those people protesting are being paid by France to do so, and they are even few of them, and no one give them their attention. It's only France media and this Western media that was broadcasting it, and it couldn't reach everywhere.
Changing geopolitics in Africa. How can you effectively say that you are protesting against Ibrahim Traore? What has urged me to respond on this platform is because someone wrote to me through my people asking me to address the Ibrahim Traore situation. It is clear to me that there is an issue with his leadership. And when I say an issue, not necessarily an issue, but people are worried and concerned about how he is conducting and making sure that he effectively caters for Burkina Faso citizens. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't seem to understand why Burkina Faso citizens abroad were protesting if it wasn't because you have been paid to protest. He, in my view, from what we can gather, has had 18 assassination attempts. That is a world record. 18 assassination attempts. And I'm not talking about fake assassinations. 18 assassination attempts. That is worrying. I'm calling on all African leaders to do what we can to protect Ibrahim Traore. I know that not all African leaders support the way he has taken over power. But it is clear to me, and it is clear to those who want to get rid of him, and those protesting, and those who support him, that he is very, very effective as a leader. And I am supporting Ibrahim Traore all the way. All the way. I would not repeat this. Ibrahim Traore has all my support. And to all Burkina Faso citizens, both abroad and in your country, make sure you fall behind your leader. What we are experiencing in Africa is great. He's changing geopolitics for the better. And for those who are planning assassination attempts and assassination coups, it will not work. It will not work. Africa must protect Ibrahim Traore.
Malcolm X was stating the facts when he said they will hire one of us to kill one of us just to say one of us did it. Don't let that go over your head.
Do you know how much dignity it takes to say no to the IMF when they come at you and say we'll give you billions and billions of dollars? And you say, no, thank you very much. I don't want it. I care more about my people.
Yeah.
Most puppets in position, especially in these African countries, are out here for the money. Now here comes this supposed chosen one, the Messiah of Africa, the hope of Africa, Ibrahim Traore, saying no to money. All these puppets are saying to themselves, what the hell is this? This is, to some extent, some of these puppets think that Ibrahim Traore is being disrespectful by rejecting these loans.
Yeah. I saw something like that. Stubborn. I believe I saw that word. Stubborn for rejecting the IMF loan.
And there's some puppets around here that will say, you don't care about your people that much. Because if you did, you take that money, you take that opportunity, those means, and try to go and build some things in your country.
These citizens are applauding him even more and supporting him even more for saying no to that.
You see this man here? He needs super armed security. In fact, the entire world needs to do a chained prayer for this man. He also reduced the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30% and increased the salaries of civil servants by 50%. He paid off Burkina Faso's local debts. He established 2 tomato processing plants. He put a stop to the export of unrefined gold from Burkina Faso to Europe. And to my understanding, he's actually trying to build a gold refinery in Burkina Faso. He banned French military operations in Burkina Faso. He banned French media in Burkina Faso, and he expelled French troops from Burkina Faso. Now, why the French are angry about this is because usually Francophone countries depend on France to some capacity. And if other countries, Francophone countries within Africa, start getting self-sufficiency, they will need France, leaving France's role redundant. And ultimately, France will become a third world country. Without Africa, France is a third world country. Remember that.
Yo, why do you keep trying to kill this man?
after now 20 failed assassination attempts on the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. I now know why they're calling him the most important black man on the planet. He answers the question, what would happen if Africa just thugged out, took its own resources by force, and distributed them equitably among their population without corruption? Well, he did that, and now they're mad about it. And now after just 2 years in charge, he's got a list of accomplishments that put other African leaders to shame. Dude literally stopped the export of Burkina Faso's gold to Europe. Increased productivity, taking Burkina Faso's GDP from 18.8 billion to 22.1 billion dollars. Then the dude banned French military exercises in Burkina Faso. Then he kicked out French media and French troops. Bro built new railroads, new highways. He invested in hundreds and hundreds of tractors for their farming capacity. He got brand new high quality seeds for the farmers to produce so that they can feed themselves. And he banned them weird ass British powdered wigs they be wearing in the parliament and court. He was like, no more of that. We African, and that just looks strange on y'all. And now he's spearheading the alliance of the Sahel states between Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, because these are all formerly French colonized places. They speak French, and they just decided we gonna defend and protect ourselves, create a block, and trade with each other. I look bad. Listen, this is leadership. So yeah, France acting like a jealous ex. Now that they see the one they abused doing good, they want to intervene with force. And here's how it plays into the greater picture. Because, in case you haven't noticed, the world profits from dirt, cheap African minerals. But in Burkina Faso and the Sahel states show that, number one, we can kick out colonizers, and number two, we gonna make y'all pay fair market prices for the resources within our dirt. That means that this might start a domino effect in Africa. Some are calling it the Ibrahim effect, and it's already taken place because young folks all over the continent is calling out for more leadership like Ibrahim Traore. Low-key, us black Americans could use some more leadership like that too. African leadership and black American leadership suffered the same problem. The OG original leaders who really was about the people got killed off. Our Dr. King and Malcolm X got killed off. Their Patrice Lumumba and Thomas Sankara got killed off. And then a bunch of sellouts and greedy ass mooches and leeches have taken over and abused the people's finances and faith. And there needed to be somebody to stand on business actually for the people with brute force against the colonizer and benevolence with their own people. And that is the example that our brother is setting in Burkina Faso. This means that we could be turning over a new leaf as a people if we follow this man's example, because it's like, what is white supremacy really but an evolutionary force for those who have been subject to it to overcome? And so when you're talking about evolutionary forces, you have to ask yourself, what is this force trying to make me? And the faster you get to that end product, the faster that pressure dissolves. So like, why did Africa fall? It fell partially because of its openness, because we had a kind of like Dr. Kingian way of looking at the world, and that everybody's our brother and we want to be benevolent with folks. Well, that works with folks who have that consciousness. But if they don't have that consciousness, you have to adapt behavior necessary to meet the challenge to preserve your own life. That's what the Malcolm X's of the world were trying to teach us. But they got assassinated before they could adapt the philosophy into hard power. Some places of the continent, they did get really forceful military leaders, right? But then they went too far into the other direction and started exploiting and dominating their own people out of greed. Nah, the pendulum got to balance. You got to ride the center. You got to be Martin Luther King with your brother and Malcolm X to the other. So this brother, Ibrahim Traore, steps up and he was like, let me learn the lessons from history in order to make me effective. I got to be benevolent with my people, but I got to be effectively militaristic enough to protect the beautiful thing that I'm building. And the sooner we get there, following this cat's example, humble yourself, be man enough to say I can learn from him, then the sooner that we get to where we need to be outside of this whole white supremacy dynamic. Because I don't know about you, but I'm done with that.
So, this is all that our brothers are telling us. You see, we need to wise up. We shouldn't allow things to be like how they did to Muammar Gaddafi. And at that time, social media was not common to all people. But this time around, we all have seen what is going on in Burkina Faso. And as I'm talking to you, I'll be going to Burkina Faso recently, and we'll be giving you videos of some of the factories going on there. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share, and comment under the comment section. And if you are an African, you prefer using organic herbal remedy, as I'm talking to you, I am a herbal practitioner, pure organic herbal medicine. And irrespective of wherever you are, we can post it to you. So you can call on my number +233 54330496, WhatsApp or direct call. You can call and I'll get in touch with you. See you on my next video.